So recently, I've made a positive traits tier list for Project Zomboid, and it turns out that it was a pretty good idea. Indeed, negative traits version got requested by the very first comment. Here it is. Before we start, hit that like button and subscribe. Our goal is to get to 100 subscribers as soon as possible. Back to the video. There is 31 negative traits that you can choose, giving you points that you can spend on positive ones. We'll rate them based on just how bad of an effect they have on your playthrough. So first is S tier, which is for traits that are a free pick. They won't ruin your playthrough, maybe you won't even remember you have them. A tier is for negative traits that are objectively quite a good pick, but do have a noticeable downside that might affect your gameplay. B tier traits are an available pick that will have an impact on your game, but usually the points trade-off makes it worth it. C tier traits have a significant downside or aren't particularly efficient. They are still playable, but for some people they might be very bad and best avoided. D tier traits are very problematic and borderline unplayable, but not to the point of actually making the game impossible or unfun. Meanwhile, F tier traits will straight up kill you or ruin your experience. Avoid unless you're doing a challenge run, I guess. Alright, with that out of the way, let's start rating the traits. So, starting off, we have an immediate never pick up, Sunday Driver. This trait is straight up evil. Some might not see through this disguise and think that it's just a free point for them because they already drive slowly or because they had multiple car accidents and now would prefer to play more carefully. You could not be more wrong. This trait ruins your acceleration, meaning that you can very easily get stuck surrounded by a horde of zombies. And you gotta remember that towing or off-road driving will be basically off limits with this. All of that for just 1 point. And the next trait is not better. All Thumbs is an F tier trait that ruins your gameplay by quadrupling the inventory transfer time, as well as having a plethora of other downsides, and all of that for 2 points. This is arguably the worst trait in the entire game, both for fast players who want to quickly loot buildings, and slower ones who prefer to take their time sorting their items, building, etc. Never take this. Alright, now on to the good stuff. Clumsy is a funny little trait that will occasionally make you faceplant for 2 points. It also makes your footsteps louder, so on some settings like Extinction, which has sprinters with great hearing, this trait might just kill you. However, for most playthroughs it's not very noticeable, so I recommend it. B tier. Next, Cowardly. This is a surprisingly okay trait. It doubles your panic gain, yes, however you can counteract that. First of all, this and any other panic-related traits are fully negated by the Desensitized perk given to the Veteran class, so keep that in mind. Second, you can counteract panic by getting drunk or avoiding hordes. Preferably the first one, as that's more fun. Note that after a few in-game months, you won't gain much panic anymore, so this trait gets better over time. B tier. Fast Metabolism is a bad trait overall, unless you have a huge supply of high-calorie food. The downsides of having this are massive early on, decreasing your melee damage by 20% and giving you a permanent tendency to lose weight, so it can really throw people off, especially beginners since they don't know how to manage their weight properly yet. While this trait can be negated by eating a lot of fish or butter, or simply just eating a ton, the real reason it's a D tier is because it's just 2 points, which is not worth all this effort. Next up, High Thirst doubles your water consumption. For 2 points, this is actually a free pick, as not only is water abundant, you can also satisfy the thirst with soda, cola, juice, ginger ale, and alcohol in general. The only downside is that you might want to carry an additional bottle of water. However, having backpacks, satchels, and such, this is not a big issue. S tier. And yes, I know some of you will put it lower because quality of life. Which is understandable, I guess. Then we have Short-Sighted. Now, this is a good choice, as you can actually start with prescription glasses if you choose this trait, which fully mitigates the blurry vision and almost entirely removes the foraging malus. You might be screwed if you lose your glasses during combat though, and they are not common. A tier. If they were common, then it's probably S tier. Slow metabolism isn't unplayable, just like fast metabolism. However, the negatives are quite significant. You lose endurance regeneration, you generally lose endurance faster, and you trip a lot, also losing 1 fitness point. All of this isn't great for just 2 points. D tier. Then we have slow reader. For most people, this is actually just F tier, as you use a lot of time in-game reading. However, if you're doing a specific run, not reading much, or if you just don't care about in-game time, this is kind of fine. So overall it's D tier. If you really need those 2 points, it's fine. Weak stomach is a free pick as long as you don't eat rotten food, which you already should not do. Free 2 points, S tier. Slow healer is a very nice perk. As long as you don't take excess amounts of damage, you'll be totally fine. Even if you do, it just increases healing time, which is mostly fine, and it gives 3 points. A tier. Smoker is a trait that has a big downside, coughing randomly, and it's loud. If you're playing Extinction or doing a stealth heavy round, then do not pick this trait up. Otherwise, there is a secret benefit to this trait. Yes, you'll get stressed when not smoking. However, smoking removes all stress and unhappiness, not just trait related, thus making cigars a viable way to improve your character's mood. In B42, the trait got nerfed to just plus 3 points, so including the downside, this is B tier. Then we have Agoraphobic, which not only makes you panic while outdoors, it also severely hurts your foraging. It's not great, unless you're doing a funny combo with Adrenaline Junkie. While it gives 4 points, remember you want to fight outside of buildings, meaning that most of your fights with zombies you'll be panicked, and that's not good. C tier. Now its counterpart, Claustrophobic, deserves an A tier. It only triggers in small rooms and has no other malices. Giving 4 points, the downside is not a big problem, really. You just gotta remember that if you want to sleep, you need some sort of a way to get rid of panic, or you need to sleep in a bigger room. Conspicuous. Let's just let the video speak for itself. As you can see, this trait does very little to affect the gameplay. You can break line of sight by sneaking behind zomboids or using fences and walls, and audio stealth is still way more important than visibility anyway. This is usually just 4 free points, S tier. Hard of hearing, I'll be honest, kinda sucks. The downside isn't unbearable, but for only 4 points it's a bit of a scam. It'll be easier for dubious little creatures to eat your brains when they attack you from behind, and harder to hear metagame events or breaking windows. Not great. C tier. For some people it's another peck actually. Hearty Appetite makes you 50% hungrier, but gives you a small foraging buff for food. With food being quite common, this trait is manageable, and for 4 points not as bad as it might seem. You just gotta remember you'll need to eat more during the day overall, so be careful. A tier. Prone to illness is just 4 free points, S tier. Cold being worse isn't a big deal, since you usually won't even get cold in the first place if you don't play carelessly, and if you're bitten you're gone anyway, so zombification process being a bit faster is whatever. Sleepyhead is annoying, as it makes you require more sleep, thus wastes some time. It's not too bad though, especially if you don't fight much. Overall though, C tier. Fear of blood is problematic because any fighting results in you being immediately stressed. Constantly having to fight stress and depression, unless you completely avoid zombies, accidents, scratches, etc. That gets in the way, and if you don't deal with it, you'll be sad and your actions will be slower. D tier. Reluctant fighter. It might be controversial, but I would put it in B tier. Yes, minus 25% XP gain for weapon skills isn't great, but Fast Learner counteracts that, and you should only avoid the skill if you want a combat-oriented playthrough. Otherwise, it's not a big deal. Short of Breath is not horrible, as it doesn't affect anything other than combat and running. Ergo, if you enjoy more peaceful playthroughs, then this trait is free 5 points. Otherwise though, it's very irritating. C tier. Disorganized is B tier, but it's not so simple. Minus 30% storage is whatever, but additionally, your items don't return to any containers or bags after you use them from those containers. Requires micromanaging, which might get annoying. 6 points is a lot if you're willing to deal with it though. And a note for multiplayer, a lot of comments say that organized is a very important trait in multiplayer. I can't really say that this is a big deal, but if it is a problem for you, then you can put this trait in D or even F. Out of shape is not unplayable, as high fitness isn't as necessary when you don't do combat much. Still D tier, you will feel the minus 2 fitness in most playthroughs. Restless Sleeper is actually fine. Normally you have to sleep twice a day with it, but with Wakeful this is partially counteracted. Thus always take this with Wakeful and treat this as plus 3 rather than plus 6 points, as Wakeful costs 3 points itself. C tier overall. Slow Learner is an automatic F tier. Minus 30% XP gains for all skills other than fitness and strength is slowing you down by an extreme amount. Never take it. Weak is horrible. Losing 2 strength points means lower carry capacity, which affects not just combat, but also looting and in-base activities. F tier. Avoid. Thin-skinned, on the other hand, is 8 free points. Same logic as thick-skinned being horrible. This whole increased chance of being hit isn't a big deal. It's counted off of block, which is a small number at its base, modified by weapon skills. That is counted after your dodge chance, and all of that doesn't even matter if you just don't get grabbed. S tier. Illiterate is complicated. On one hand, you can't read books or annotated maps. On the other hand, it does not matter much, as for 10 points you can grab any traits you want, including crafting ones, to get that XP boost without books. It's not for everyone, but you can make it work. It's B tier, given you know what you're doing and you're not maxing out all skills. Puny is an F tier immediately. Minus 5 strength is a huge setback in time and your carry capacity will suck. Unfit will ruin you as well, with minus 4 fitness. You'll get tired after a couple of swings, a short sprint, a tree chop, whatever. Not worth it. Finally, Deaf. This is going to be the most controversial one so far. In my opinion and experience, this is a B tier trait. Yes, you've heard that right, B tier. And I know the arguments against it, so let's quickly go over them. First, you cannot hear house alarms. Yeah, well, just look around after opening that window. Are the zombies suddenly coming towards the house? If so, it's an alarm. Done. Second, you can get attacked from behind. Yes, well, you can just pay attention to your back. If you don't, you can get killed even without death this way. Third, no radio, so no warning about helicopter event. Yes, that is an issue. You need to plan accordingly for days 6 to 9, probably move quite a bit and live on the road for a moment. Return to your home at day 10. Here's the thing, you can fight all of those problems, and in the end, well, you are up 12 trait points, while still being able to read, to watch TV, and so on. It's a huge risk versus reward trait, and it's worth it if you know what you are doing. Also, you can listen to your favorite music or podcast while playing, that's an added benefit. Just one note, don't take this trait ever if you're playing with sprinters, you're going to die a painful death. So, there you have it. Negative traits done. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. On my previous tier list, I got a lot of interesting opinions, information and feedback, which was great. I would also appreciate some video ideas, what you want to see next, maybe occupations tier list, who knows. Thanks for watching and once again, like and subscribe. Have a great day.